Okay, welcome to configuring DNS resource records and conditional forwarding. This is part 2 of the DNS record um, configuration. And what we're going to do is, DNS resource records and also the conditional forwarding. Conditional forwarding pretty much means that if you, it's DNS is looking for, we configure in DNS to look for a particular, say like a name, Harry's computer.com. Or Harry's server, and it will actually, it's us forcing that DNS lookup. Instead of DNS looking for itself, going and doing it by itself, we're actually configuring, it's like a static. We're statically configuring this forwarding. And this is useful in many different occasions. So first step, we're going back into server 1. So we'll minimize here. This is server 1 now. And we are going to we're going to create a primary zone now. Let's create, right click, new zone. And we're going to call, it's going to be a primary zone, and we're going to call it, so whenever anyone types this name, we are forcing it to go to a particular IP address later on when we set this up, instead of DNS trying to resolve it itself. This is much quicker, much faster. We've got full control. And we're going to leave all the defaults. Perfect. So now we're actually going to add an MX record. And if you've been doing the reading, watching the videos, an MX record is for mail servers. Okay, again, the lab guide that I'm using is actually really confusing. So I'm going to make this a bit easier for everyone. Basically, the next part for the mail record, we actually have to right click born.com, and it's not mentioned in the lab itself, but then we click on new mail exchange. This is the section where we set up a new mail exchange there. We're going to now call it mail1, and that's the fully qualified domain name there. And we'll just type that again. This is just email stuff. If you're actually hosting your own email server, mostly these days people are doing it on Microsoft 365, but you can have that server, Microsoft Exchange server on-prem. They're still around, but yeah, I think it's just better to go to Microsoft 365 and have them host your email services. But anyway, topic for another time. Done. So that's that. We've got that mail server up and running. Now we're going to create an IP address for burn.com. So if someone types that, where will they go? Perfect. So we're going to right click, and we're going to create a new host. An A record is for IP version 4. A quad A is for IP version 6. We're going to do an IP version A. So the name we are going to use is, it's going to be called Skype server. Wait a sec, sorry. Oh, it's going to be called link server. I think that's right, yeah. So that's the server's name. And the IP address is this 172.16.32.250, and add host successfully created. Perfect. Great. So let me just, yeah, that's there. So now if that server, if anyone is referring to this server, it will send it to that IP address. Okay. Remember, this is just a lab. The actual content, the information, the learning about this, the theory, is not covered here. I'm trying to bring that in now and then, but this is not. I'm missing out on a lot of explanation here. Otherwise, we'd be like here for 3-4 hours. But yeah, well, let's get this lab working. Maybe we can make other videos later on that, but we'll see how that works out. So now we're going to do a CNAME record. We'll right click here, and a CNAME record is just it's pointing to an alias. So we're creating an alias. Okay. So let's create this alias or CNAME record. I can find it. So in here, maybe I think it's right click there. We're looking for new alias. There it is, new alias. And we're going to call it Skype server. Now, who uses Skype still? Not many people anymore. And again, this is just, if someone types Skype server somewhere, in a browser, in PowerShell, whatever, it points to that server we configured just above, the link server 1, which we're going to write here now. DNS is confusing, isn't it? It's a lot of work to get around DNS. It's not my favorite networking subject. DHCP is not DNS. DNS is confusing, but very useful. We need it. We really, really need that for it to work. And that's it. That's it for that configuration. So now what we need to do is go back to DC1, and we need to configure some conditional forwarder on DC1 to make this work. All right, so we'll go over to, where are they? Aha. Oh, there's my big head again. It's very annoying, that head. So we're back on DC1. Select and right click conditional forwarders. And then new conditional forwarder. We want to type burn.com. Just double checking DNS. Yep. I gotta be careful because we have to get this right. And then you click on this area and put it 172.16.32.11. That's the IP address of the DNS server that's hosting that website there, or that zone. Press enter. Now, you do get an X for a while, and then it attempts to resolve. Okay, now this is not going to work, right? There is no burn.com, so don't worry about it. But in production environment, you should be waiting for that to turn green. Click OK, and that should be fine. Now, let's test these. And how do we test it? It's a great question. I'm glad you asked. We'll go over to the client. Finally, we're going to get to the client now. So, all right, let's check. Now, again, the lab is poorly written. What we're trying to do here is this should be done as step by step. So let's do this. So I've logged into the client 101. What we want to do is we want to make sure that our DNS server is swin22dc1. It's still going to be that one. So we can go into command. Actually, we'll use PowerShell. PowerShell is Microsoft is wanting us to use PowerShell instead of the command line. We'll run as administrator. I think it will allow us to. Yeah, it will. Perfect. And then what we do is you just do ns lookup. And if this doesn't work, I have to stop and cancel and make it new again. All right, let's try swin22dc1. Great. So that looks okay. Looks okay. Let's just check, because I forgot. My memory's terrible. We'll go back over to DC1. and 72. Let me just do an IP config. Okay, yeah, that's good. So that's working so far. So when I type in that server name, it's resolved correctly to the correct IP address. So far, so good. Exit that. Nice. So what we want to do now is we want to make sure that the start of record the SOA should be burn. Let's try this. I'm really hoping this works. So resolve. By the way, you can type tab in here. It doesn't always work. Resolve DNS name. Tab makes it easier. If your typing is as bad as mine, it's good to tab because that means I know for sure that's working. Burn.com and then dash type SOA and enter. I'm really hoping this works. No, it didn't. That's just great. All right, let's try another one. So burn. Maybe it's just because it's just not real. Oops. So we'll try another one. Resolve DNS name link server 1.burn.com. Type A. Okay, well that works. That's good. I've got a feeling that burn.com because it's just not real, not a real server anywhere. But that's good. So where did that send us? That sent us to the link server, which is 250. That's interesting. Yeah. Where's 250, by the way? Certainly not that one. Okay, yeah, so I think we've just created that there. If we were to ping it, I just don't think there's anything there. It's just, this example is just how to do things. But if I do an IP address, 20, I think it doesn't exist, but that's fine. But that's what we're after. So it's doing it. It's the name resolver is working. It's what we want it for. It's what we want happening here. One more. We're going to resolve the Skype server DNS name tab. Make it easier. Name, and now we created Skype server dot burn. Now this should work. No, it doesn't look like it's going to work for us. You know why? My mistake. .com. No, it still didn't work. Okay. Skype server .born.com. Type A. Skype server resolve name. Skype server .burn.com. Type A. That's interesting. All right, I'm going to pause the video, do some quick troubleshooting. I did a bit of troubleshooting. I don't know if this is going to work, but I think this IP address is wrong. I think I may have just done something really silly there. 172. I hope that's the reason why it's failing. Now, so the Skype server is just pointing to that. So if that's not working, Skype server is not going to work. That's just pointing to that one, as you can see there. Now I went back in there, and that was 72, not 172. Could be just a typo. I'm hoping that's it. That's doing my troubleshooting strategies. All right, so let's do this again. So we know that burn. I don't think that burn is going to work. because I just don't think there's a burnout there.com, or the we can't get there anyway. But so we know I'm very sure that's not going to work. The link server should work. And now let's try. We're going to try the alias now, aren't we? No, that's still not working. That's very interesting. I'm just double checking the spelling again. Oh, it looks okay. Look at that. So we need to flush the DNS. So let's flush the DNS. ipconfig, flush DNS. Great. Let's try that again. I'm just going to try that born again. I really wish it would work, but I still don't think it will. No worries. No problems. Let's do that. That's still coming up. All right, I need to go and fix that. I'll be back in a second. Just looking at this configuration, I think we need to click on update associated pointer record as well. Okay, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to delete this and we'll start again. So if we go back over to, that's why you shouldn't make mistakes like that. Let's go back to over here. So that should flash. Let's resolve that, and it's still working. So it's still floating out there. Still going, even though we've deleted it. That's interesting. I'm going to pause and see if I can do more troubleshooting. Okay, I've tried so many different ways to fix this, but it's beyond my skill at the moment. DNS has always been one of those Microsoft networking that's always hounded me and bugged me. But let's leave it as it is, because I'm spending too much time on this. I have other tasks I need to perform for you guys as well. But what I might do is, number one, anyone watching this has figured this out. See if there's any errors that you've picked up. Let me know. Third one is I might do this lab from scratch. I'll build it from scratch. Then I'll get rid of this video and I'll get you an updated one. Maybe this is a good thing that I can't figure this out right now, and that you can go through your own tools and check it out. Please let me know what you come up with, because it's driving me crazy. I've done many different things. I've flushed all the DNSs. I have gone here and I've even gone to Active Directory, and I've right-clicked here. I've right-clicked and replicated the new changes. The change is just not working. So I've tried everything, exhausted all my knowledge. See what you can do. Let me know. See what you've come up with. But if I have figured it out, will replace this video with a brand new video. All right, thanks everyone, and looking forward to seeing you in our next face-to-face class. Thank you.